Today we are making a simple ham and potato soup. Hey everybody, it's Amanda from the Bealles, and today I'm going to show you my simple ham and potato soup. So this is something I have for lunch pretty often because it's really easy. Now be prepared, I do use some processed food on this, but it is going to be done in minutes and it's going to be a warm lunch. So I'm just throwing it out there as an option for you, especially you guys who are thrown into homeschooling or distance learning and all of a sudden you got to make meals from home and you got to do them quick so everybody can be on the ball. Hopefully this is an idea that'll help you. So it is a ham and potato soup. I actually do a version of it with broccoli and cheese, so I'll tell you how I do that as well. But here's what you need. First, you need instant potatoes. I know, this is why it's quick. This is why it's a quick ham and potato soup. We are going to make instant potatoes, and the way that I do it, because we don't really drink a lot of milk in our family, and you can do it however you want. First thing you're going to do is prepare the potatoes, but you're going to prepare them kind of watered down. So this particular one calls for salt and butter and milk. I am just going to use water and a little bit of butter. And then I'm going to throw in at the end, and this might be an idea that will work for you, a little bit of my homemade chicken broth. So when you make it, just make some instant potatoes and water it down till it's the consistency that you like. So it's going to take a couple minutes. I'm going to get the water boiling and we're going to get started. So while our water is coming to a boil, we're gonna take care of the other ingredients. Super simple. So the first thing you need is some ham, and you can use just about any kind of ham that you have. I personally like to get a big loaf of turkey ham, and I'm gonna show you a picture of what it looks like. I usually get it from Food Lion, and it's $6.98 for a whole loaf. Now you can get it anywhere. And when I get the big loaf, I usually cut it in quarters and use each of those quarters for entire like family size meals. But I usually keep it in the fridge at least a quarter or two to cut up little chunks of ham to put in like omelets in the morning or in a soup like this. So I have already taken, this is just a piece of a quarter, and cut it up into chunks. Another thing that I've done in the past is if the deli has any kind of ham on sale, we do turkey ham, but whatever ham you prefer, whenever they have it on sale, I'll have him slice it as thick as they can. It's kind of like that thick. And then I'll have chunks of that. Even though it's deli meat, it works kind of the same way. Another thing that you can do is just use regular lunch meat. If you have ham lunch meat, I've used that before when I had it. So anyway, take whatever ham you want and cut it in the size chunk that you want. The other thing you're going to need is cheese. So this is my shredded cheese that I'm going to toss in. And then you need your seasoning / spices. So I guess it's not really spicy, but herbs. So anyway, salt, pepper, pretty standard. One thing that I think is excellent that you don't want to leave out is onion powder. Definitely want to use that. I personally like to throw in a little bit of garlic powder, and you can use any kind of herbs that you like. I prefer just basil, but if I didn't have basil, I would use Italian seasoning or something else just for my own personal enjoyment. So anyway, I'm going to get this water boiled, and once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and get my potatoes mixed up, throw in a little bit of chicken broth, and then we're going to add our seasonings, add our ham, add our cheese, and that's it. We're really going to be done. So let me get these potatoes made. Put the potatoes in there, and then I added my seasonings on top. So I don't usually measure. I try to do them by just taste, and I kind of have an idea because I've made this a million times what it looks like when it's done. On the back of my box it tells me how much salt to add, and so that's a good place to start, but you're probably going to want to add a little more, you know, according to your taste. So just throwing that out there to you. So now that I have all of the seasonings on top, I'm gonna go ahead and stir this in, and then this is my bag. I freeze my chicken broth in ice cube trays. So I'm just gonna throw a few cubes in here until it's the consistency that I am looking for. Okay, so this looks a little bit thin. It's not quite as thin as I'd like it, but what I'm getting ready to do is add my chicken broth and my cheese. But one thing I want to tell you before you add any liquid is make sure you go ahead and put your potato flakes in and let them sit for a minute or two, because they will expand more than you think. So don't just stir it in and think, oh, that's too thick, and then add liquid. Nope, just give it a minute before you add to it. But I'm going to go ahead and get ready and add my chicken broth and cheese. Okay, so the way that I'm going to do this is a little specific to my situation. I have my chicken broth in ice cubes. So the great thing about it is that when you cook potatoes, instant potatoes on the stove, they get really hot. So the ice cubes allow it to cool down enough so that you can eat it, you know, at a reasonable pace pretty quickly. But if you were actually using regular chicken broth that you needed to heat up, I would have you add that to the water when you're actually heating up the liquid at the beginning. But as it stands, I add mine at the end and it just cools down the potatoes to just right temperature. But I have to put the cheese in at the same time so the cheese melts. So that's just my personal situation. But anyway, I am getting ready to add my ham, and then we'll be just about finished. Okay, so here is my finished ham and potato soup, and it is just perfect. I can't wait to eat it, and I know that you are gonna like it too. It's such an easy, quick lunch. If you get started on it, you can get it done in like 5-10 minutes tops, and it's just warm and it's amazing. So I hope you will give it a try. So I know that was really, really easy, really quick. You're like, that wasn't even hardly a recipe. I know. That's why it's so quick and easy, and you can make it with what you have, and it's not expensive. It's just little tiny pieces of leftovers. It's perfect. So another thing, like I said, you can make it like a broccoli and cheese soup, and the way that I do that is I'll just heat up the broccoli at the same time that I'm making the potatoes, and then I will put the broccoli in my food processor and puree it, and then I'll add it to the potato soup, and then it's broccoli and cheese potato soup. And you can do that with ham or without ham, and it's perfectly good. So just throwing these ideas out there because I know everybody wants some quick, easy lunches, and I hope it's helpful to you. So anyway, I'm gonna go eat my soup now. You all have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Bye.